Next, I'm going to show you how to add and subtract decimals. I want you to know that I would like you to use a calculator for this, but I'm going to show you how to do it by hand just in case you forget a calculator on an exam or something like that. So for vertical addition, what we're going to have to do is make sure we have a zero placeholder when needed to make sure all of our decimal places line up. Okay, and we're going to add them vertically. So if I have 8.65 plus 1.2, I need a placeholder 0 right here. And then vertical addition, you will probably remember this, it's what they made us do when we were younger, is we add them by columns. So I'm adding the hundredths and the tenths and then our whole pieces. So 5 and 0 gives me 5, 2 and 6 gives me 8, and 1 and 8 gives me 9. So the sum, remember that's what it is when we add things, the sum of these two decimals is 9 and 85 hundredths. Now what if I have to subtract? Well, vertical addition will work as well. Well, the vertical method, but now we're subtracting. The problem is now I'm trying to take 9 from 5. Remember, we can do that by stealing 10. So 15 minus 9, that's 6. 3 minus 8, again I have to steal 10. So 13 minus 8 is 5. 2 minus 0 is 2. And 2 minus 0 is 2. So now I have 2 and 256 thousandths. When we're multiplying decimals, we need to count the total number of spaces left of the decimal point. So for example, I have 3.2 times 0.005. You're probably going to want to put this into a calculator, but one thing we can also do is take 3.2 times 5, so 32 times 5, and make sure we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal points. So 5 times 32, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 5 is 15. Here I'm doing vertical multiplication, plus 1 is 16, so I have 160. But I have 160 with 4 decimal places. So 160, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get 0.0160, and I'm going to check that. So I've got 0.0005 times 3.2. 0.016 is my final answer. When we're dividing decimals places, one thing you can do is move the decimal place so you're dividing by a whole number. So for example, I could have 98.7 divided by 3, and that would be an equivalent answer. I just moved it 1 to the right. But for all of this, I'm going to want you to use a calculator, so you can check these on your own. When we're converting a fraction to a decimal, use a calculator. Plug in 1 divided by 4, okay? Otherwise, we'd need to use long division. Remember long division from like the olden days? Well, how many times does 4 go into 1? Well, it doesn't go into 1 at all, so I'm going to have to add a 0 placeholder, right? Now, how many times does 4 go into 10? 4 goes into 10 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. 0.2 times 8 is 0.8. 1 minus that would be 0.2. Okay, does 4 go into 2? No, so I have to put a placeholder there. How many times does 4 go into 20? It goes into 20 5 times. 0.05 times 4 is 0.20. You subtract them, no remainder. So that's where the 0.25 of 1/4 comes from. Percent means per 100, right? Cent is French for 100. So when we're talking about change, if I say I have 1 cent, I have 1/100th of a dollar, right? If I have 100 pennies, I would have 1/100th of a dollar, or 0.01 cents, right? So here are some percent fractions and their percent fraction and decimal equivalents. For 1%, like 1 penny is 1 out of 100. If I have 10%, 0.10, that's like having a dime. And if I've got 100 pennies out of 100, that's 100%, that's $1. So here's how you can convert between the three. So to convert a percent to a decimal, you move the decimal point 2 places to the left and remove the percent symbol. So 5% becomes, I move this decimal place over, 0.05. 73 becomes 0.73. If I want to go to decimal to percent, I have to undo what I did, right? I'm going to move to the right and add the percent symbol. So I move over 1, 2, that gives me 8.5%. Move over 1, 2, I have 104%. So this was to the left and this was to the right.